Hello, my horrible hombres. Today you just have me and my pitiful horror collection. Unfortunately, Robin couldn't make it, not because he doesn't want to be here, because obviously he always wants to hang out with his bestie, me. But he has no voice and cannot talk. So we are going to do another episode at some point. But for now, this is a bit of a filler episode, so it's episode something, where I'm going to talk about the pitiful horror collection that I have. I don't have a lot of DVDs and VHSs, but the ones that I do have, I really love. So strap yourselves in and listen to me talk about my horrible bullshit. Hi, just here to add one more thing. Not that I have any other movies to talk about, but Rob and I had recorded a Halloween special. And unfortunately, I did not do a test video, which I try to do every time we record, but that time I was overconfident. That never happens. What? And you couldn't hear Robin at all. So it was just me talking to myself, expecting the Abyss to respond. Maybe we will cut it up or something and release it next Halloween for funsies, or maybe we'll do a halfway to Halloween one and we'll just throw some of my stupid little comments in there. But unfortunately it didn't go very well and we didn't have time to re-record before Halloween, so that's what you get. Sorry guys. Unfortunately we had a terrible and horrible mishap, but we will make sure that next Halloween we have a good special for you. Okay, so first some coffee. And I brought a creature feature with me, obviously. So I will start off by saying, sadly enough, I have not been able to find in the wild a copy of The Thing. And I'm not sure what it is. I don't know what my problem is either, but I struggle to buy things new. There's something about it. Like, once in a while, I'll find something brand new and I'll say to myself, you know what? I'm gonna treat myself. But even clothes, like this, it's true. This shirt I did buy brand new, but it was definitely on sale. True Nova Scotian here, I guess. And some of these DVDs, I might have bought brand new like 20 years ago, but I still feel like I only bought them because they were on sale, or I got like a good trade-in value or something on them. So don't be disappointed in me. Well, I guess nobody can be as disappointed in me as I am. However, if you do have something to say about it, feel free. Alright, so this is one not a lot of people, either not a lot of people know about it, or they don't, I don't know, it gets some hate. I'm not sure why. I've talked about it in a previous episode. I've probably talked about a few of these, actually. So, this first, I'm going to start with my VHSs. So this is The Cell, and look at this, the condition of this case. I got it recently, actually, but I am so impressed with how well preserved the case of this is that I take pretty good care of it for that reason. And I gotta say, it is a magnificent film, in my opinion. Visually stunning. J-Lo does a great job, in my opinion. At the time that I saw it, I was actually a huge J-Lo fan. I really liked her music, and then I really liked all the movies that she was in at the time, because she was doing a lot, pumping it out. And she did a great job in that movie. Another thing that I really liked about that movie was, it was my first introduction to Vince Vaughn, other than, like, Wedding Crashers, I think, which I also liked. I'm a huge Owen Wilson fan. So, let's see. I'm not sure which one came out first, but either way, I really liked it. I liked the concept, and I feel like it meshed a lot of really cool things together. And if you listen to previous episodes, I go on about it for like 15 minutes or some crazy nonsense. Okay, so the next one, also one I got recently. Yes, I got these VHSs recently from VHS Fudge, actually. They are a local VHS collector who sometimes gives me a deal because I'll just walk up to him with a stack of stuff. Please help me. So this is The Hitcher which I actually only saw recently. I hadn't seen it until I went to Propeller Arcade and watched it. It was the first movie I had watched at the arcade, actually. And it was so good. I was gripping my seat the whole time. I love the suspense. I love the weird, like, homoerotic relationship that's happening. Like, Rutger Hauer's character is kind of, like, in love with this young man. Not literally, but he's just, like, in love with the idea that this kid is able to outrun him and outsmart him, and, like, not entirely, but it's almost like it's become, like, a fun little flirtatious game, as opposed to him just straight up murdering people, you know, as most murderers tend to do. And then this one is very dear to my heart. Oh my god. A friend of mine might see this. Our first date, it didn't work out, but our first date, we watched this movie, An American Werewolf in London. One of my favorite movies, and definitely my number one favorite werewolf movie. Sorry, Ginger. I just absolutely love this movie. I love him hallucinating his dead friend. I love the weird love story that's happening. I love how conflicted he is with this ailment. This is such a great movie. It's such a good and classic horror, or werewolf movie. They're all horror movies, I guess. Because I'm a horrible person. Okay. The next one, I actually haven't watched in a while. I think the last time I watched it, I was still living in Halifax on a street called Larch Street. And it's a real mindfuck. I mean, like, you know what's happening, but it's like, I don't know, you start to lose your mind a little bit watching it with the characters, and, like, there's a lot of moral dilemmas happening, and, like, anyway. So this would be Frailty. Excellent film. Very horrible, very mind-fucky, and R.I.P. Bill Paxton. Just a great, really like it. Not a movie I watch all the time. It's definitely like an afternoon movie for me. I don't really like to watch movies that are that dark at night. I don't know, you know. And maybe I still get a little spooked out by stuff, or like I just don't like that heavy feeling in the gut right before I go to bed. I leave that to the food. Okay, so this is a collection that's already made an appearance, because in a previous episode I talked about all of these. And this is my Nightmare on Elm Street collection. I'll pick up the whole box in a second here, but first I'm going to talk about how this happened. So this is the Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one. And as you see, there is no VHS. It is a sad story. I had to cut and run from a situation, and I had to leave my VHS DVD player behind, and that was still in the VHS player, and I did not realize. And very sad. I will never get it back. It probably got burned in a pile of my stuff. Who knows? Rock on, dude. So yeah, I'll just flash them over. For some reason, they're not in order. What the heck? Let me see here. There we go. There. Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Another one I think I talk about separately from the rest of them at some point. And this is like almost like the Halloween 3 of the Nightmare series. It still has Freddy in it, obviously. But it's like this poor kid just like ends up in the same house, and that's the connection that's made. I think a lot of people talk about how it's Freddy's house. If you watch the Red Letter Media review, they talk about how, like, the storylines are all fucked up. And I mean, honestly, I didn't pay that much attention to it until I watched their review of everything, because I just love the movies independently anyway. But they also forgot that, like, they talk about the house with the red door, or the house with the blue door, whatever. Anyway, the door is a different color in the first movie than it is in the rest of them. They talk about how it's Freddy's house, especially in, let's go to the next one. Especially in number 3, they talk about how Freddy lives there, and how it's like where his home is. But I think that's more subjective to the fact that like his spirit is living there because that's where he was pulled into the real world, and then his fiery footsteps and submerging himself into the bed and killing Nancy's mom, etc., etc. I think that that is probably kind of like the conclusion you can draw as a fan. Who knows if the writers put that much effort into it? They probably didn't. So the next one is number 3. Watch it. It seems to be everybody's favorite. It's hard for me to pick. I definitely love number 3 a lot. It's probably the one that has the most rewatch value for me. But the first one is probably my favorite. If I had to pick, if there was a gun or, somebody had their knife on me, I'd probably pick number 3. Or number 1. Cut that. Oh my god. I would probably pick number 1 if somebody put a knife on me. And then I would get murdered because I'd actually accidentally say 3. So then we have number 4. Which is a little disappointing that Patricia Arquette didn't come back for. However, it's not really that big of a deal because the actress who replaces her does such a great job, you don't even notice. And I think this is the one where she kind of gets killed off pretty quickly. And then the new main character, Alice, takes over, who is also just incredible. Alice does such a great job. And I relate a lot to Alice's character. Believe it or not, I used to be very shy and weird. I'm still very weird, I suppose. And in number 4, they just have so many more, it's probably the superior one for the amount of bullshit happening. Like, there are so many scenes with the prosthetics and the practical effects and everything. It's just so great. And then I have that stupid sweater that you'll see if you watch the previous episodes, where it's like the Freddy pizza. No, it's great. Which I think doesn't actually appear. It might be in the it might be in the 4th one, but I think it's the 5th one that has both the pizza and Freddy lifting his shirt up and showing like the souls. So the 5th one is Dream Child. Very good. I mean, not as good as the rest of the previous ones, I guess. Like 1, 2, 3, and 4 are definitely a higher rewatch value than this one. This one is very cringy, in my opinion. The kid is like, I don't know, kind of gross. Like, he's not gross, but they make him look gross. I don't know. It's just... And then there's so many, like, juicy... It's, like, the juiciest one. Like, everything's so juicy, the whole movie. And then it turns out there's a lot of inconsistencies. They didn't actually, like, write the whole movie at once, and they had to, like, put some filler scenes in because they forgot a bunch of stuff, and there's lots of plot holes. Oh, look out, a plot hole. Okay. Then there's this nightmare, which I didn't mean to say it like that, but it's pretty hard to, like, not laugh your whole off the whole time you're watching it. It's definitely, I would say, the cheesiest one. Definitely has way more cheese, way more goofiness. A lot of people compare Freddy to, like, Bugs Bunny, which I can't deny. Like, he's very silly, but I think part of it is that he's trying to be more appealing to his daughter, because this is all about him, like, reconnecting with his daughter. And I don't know if I mentioned this in the previous episode where we're talking about our favorite series, but I actually, when I was like 7 years old, my brother's friends actually love this about me. They joke about it all the time. I was desperate to marry Freddy. I was like, I want to marry him. And they were like, why? Like, are you in love with him or something? I was like, ew, gross, no. He just won't murder me. You know, if I marry him, how could he murder his wife? Like, come on. You know, I'm 7 or 8 years old. This is the logic I have. And then I watched Freddy's Dead, where he very much brutally murders his wife. You know, the fun stuff. So my dreams were crushed, but I'm pretty sure I was old enough to know that that wouldn't have worked anyway at that point, when that movie came out, or at least when I saw it. Let's see, when did it come out? Yeah, I was definitely not old enough to know any better. But I really did like that movie. I liked the weird, stupid, like, goblin type things, the little, like, Freddy sperm, whatever the fuck spirits. They were pretty cool. And I don't know. I like them all. Like, I don't know. People give all of them shit, but I actually really love all of them. I love watching them. They're so much fun. Freddy's just so much fun to me. A lot of... you know what? I actually recently watched Terrifier, and I found it very comparable. The personality that Art has versus the personality that Freddy has, but Art doesn't talk. But he's very animated, and he has that same, like, sinister goofiness to him that suddenly turns very dark and serious. I like that. I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. Especially Terrifier 2 with the warrior girl. I don't know. I thought that was neat. I don't like the weird paranormal shit that happens in it, but whatever. I feel like it's like, what the hell... whatever. You know, Freddy starts off with he's part of the dream world and whatever. I don't know if there has to be other horror series that are like that, where it's like they're in your dreams and whatever, other than like just having trauma. Like having PTSD dreams or whatever. Okay, so then there's A New Nightmare, which is a film that might be popping up again soon in terms of events that I'll be hosting, which is very neat, but, you know, no promises. I really liked The New Nightmare. I liked that they redid his costume without making it look stupid. I feel like it looks more serious, looks darker, it looks more demonic, which is what they're going for. I mean, he's supposed to be a demon coming into life. A lot of people give Heather Langenkamp flack for not being a very good actress in that movie, but again, she's portraying herself. Like, she's technically not acting. Like, if you think about it, she's just like reliving a nightmare. And manifesting a demon through her fear and grief, because her husband's just been killed. And the glove is this new mechanical thing that I think her husband made, or like they were making when he died, something like that, because he was one of the prosthetics people on the set. And she's protecting her son, and then there's a lot of like throwbacks to like the old movies, like fuck your past, or I think she just says screw your past, but she should have said fuck. That would have been way better. Because she's like an adult and we're allowed to say that word. The ending where Freddy dies, it's like they had no time or budget. They were like, fuck it, I don't know, it looks great, it looks good enough. Just throw that in there. And Wes was like, yeah, who cares, man? Like, I didn't even want to do this. But all in all, I actually liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Alright, so I'm gonna shut the fuck up about those ones. Alright, to the DVD collection. Also, I don't know, if anybody sees this and they find Nightmare on Elm Street VHS, the first one, let me know. I have it on DVD, so don't worry. Don't cry for me yet. But if it's on VHS, let me know. I mean, I'm probably not gonna buy it from you if you're like, I'll give it to you for $200. I'll buy it for like 10, 20 bucks, maybe. Maybe even 25, you know. But if you're gonna try and sell it to me above that price, then I'm gonna know you're pulling a fast one on me. So don't even try it. All right, here we go. The Lost Boys, excellent vampire film. Lots of teenage crush type situations happening. Kiefer Sutherland is a dreamboat, even if he's like a gross sewer dwelling vampire. And Nanook, such a cute little puppy dog. Plus, Alex Winter is in this, even though I think he has like one line, or if that, he might just hiss. I don't know. But he's great. I also always really loved Star, the woman who plays Star. I thought she was great in this film. I don't really recall her in much else. I think she's in a couple TV shows and whatnot, but anyway, great vampire movie. Most people have seen it. If you haven't seen it, you don't even know what's up, okay? And then, of course, my DVD, it's just 1, 2, 3, and 4. I tried to get my roommate to watch these with me, and we got to the third one, and they were like, can we please stop forever? And I was like, but why? And they were like, I don't even like horror movies. And then I was sad, but that's fine. Number 4 is just like, it's just fun. You know, it's not necessary to watch or anything. But 1, 2, and 3 are very necessary. Mandatory even. And it's illegal to exist if you haven't seen them. So, like, get your shit checked or the police are coming for you. I don't know why I threw this one in here, because it's not really horror, but it was in my horror collection pile for some reason. Kill Bill Lots of blood spraying everywhere. Really love it. Apparently, it's to like be a homage to the artist who did the comics, and they did a great job. I just love how juicy the blood is everywhere, and I've idolized Go-Go ever since. Like, yeah. Anyway, I think it's pretty good. I mean, I'm not like a hardcore Tarantino fan, but I do tend to enjoy watching his movies. And then you know what, I'm going to show these both at the same time. Again, a lot of people argue with me that they're not horror, but I don't know. I think they're horror comedies in my personal opinion. One, I guess, is like crime, whatever, mystery. I'm not sure. But so we have Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead is obviously horror because zombies. Hot Fuzz, I find, is horror because it's like it's this like menacing underlying problem that they're not really sure, like they have to try and figure it out, and every time they try to figure it out, somebody dies, gets murdered. Like, in my opinion, I find that that's on the horror scale, just because there's no freaky paranormal ghosty stuff happening, there's no monsters, it's still horror. Like, people are being brutally murdered, and they can't figure out what's going on. Every time they get close to figuring it out, somebody else gets murdered, and then they're confused and starting from square one again. I don't know, I think that that's still, like, I guess it's like murder, mystery, crime, but whatever. Psh. One of my favorite lines in Hot Fuzz is, nothing like a morning gobble, cucks. Hilarious. Perfect timing. This is another one I find is a horror movie, but people tell me it's just a sci-fi, and I disagree. And maybe it's because it has Natalie Portman in it, and I don't know, people have a hate on for her. Is it because she played Queen Amidala? Like, what is it? Like, I don't know, I like her. Come on, like, we all remember Leon the Professional, and she did a bang-up job on that. So, Annihilation. Freaky as hell. That scene where she, like, meets her clone-type creature thing, and they, like, push into each other. Ah! I, like, held my breath. My heart was pumping. It was very thrilling for me. Very thrilling experience. I really liked it. And, I mean, I threw it in my horror pile because I find it's a horror movie, in my opinion. I think it's great. There's that, like, suspense and, like, are they gonna survive? What's really happening? Okay, what the fuck's going on now? Like, I really like that. It has very, I don't know if Event Horizon vibes or Pandorum vibes are what I'm looking for there, but I don't know. That's kind of what I'm getting at with that one. I thought it was horror, in my opinion. And then, of course, the classic. Hellraiser. I've actually had this for a long time. It's probably one of my oldest DVDs for my collection at all, let alone horror. I got this back when EB Games used to sell movies, and it's so good. Plus 9 Inch Nails, like, come on. I'm well, if you couldn't tell, I'm a huge 9 Inch Nails fan. And I feel like any movie that they do the soundtrack for is gonna be great. Like The Crow, come on. Masterpiece film. Very sad what happened, but great movie. So Hellraiser, again, oh my god, so on the back you can kind of see the uncle a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, so the juicy uncle, and then the wife, or the girlfriend, whatever, his girlfriend, and then the niece trying to find her dad. Anyway, help me, I'm in hell, the blood everywhere. Yeah, it's so good. It's funny because the Cenobites weren't even the scary part of the movie, in my opinion. Like, sure, they're all gnarly and weird and creepy and stuff, but, like, I don't know. The scariest part was the uncle. And when that scene where he's, like, his body's, like, morphing into itself and, like, coming up out of the pools of blood. Ugh, so good. I love that practical effects scene was so good. And, again, a lot of people say that the girl, the lead actress, she didn't do a good job. Like, she didn't know how to act, but I thought she did a great job. I mean, again, like, these movies came out before maybe the standards of acting were as high as they were for young women, but as they are now, rather. But like in horror, you really just have to look panicked and screamy. Like honestly, come on, just look scared and be fine with blood spraying all over you all the time. I really like this movie. I have to have watched it like 100 times. It was a favorite of mine and my brother's, and I watched it with my friends, and I watched it at home by my own a few times, or on my own, not by my own, by my own lonesome. Okay, and this is a special one, very dear to me. Probably one of my favorite movies ever. I am a huge John Waters fan, but yeah, so Serial Mom. Oh my god, I'm so happy I could shit is one of my favoriteest lines ever in a movie of all time. So good. Matthew Lillard, what a dreamboat. I could watch any movie with him in it, honestly, even Scooby-Doo, and just be happy that he's in it, honestly. Scooby-Doo's not a bad movie, it's just not a typical movie for me to watch, is all. Just absolutely love this movie. Ricky Lake does a great job. And all the eating scenes, like I don't do very good with like the greasy, juicy stuff, and it's hard for me to watch, especially with like wiggly pieces of meat and whatever. But I don't know, they do such a good job of like portraying that grossness in it. But apparently that's a John Waters thing. I didn't realize that it was a thing for him. And just everything in it is so cliche and cheesy, and like, you don't wear your seatbelt, so I'm gonna fucking murder your ass and light you on fire. Technically, she didn't kill him. It was the band that killed him. But still, she certainly helped. And she wasn't going to complain if he died. And I'm going to actually... Let's do this one. So, this is one I've actually owned for a really long time as well. And it was one of my top 5 favorite horror movies for a long time. Again, some people try to tell me that it's not a horror movie, but they can go pound whatever substance they like, because honestly, first of all, John Cusack is in it. Oh, so cute. And it's just a really fantastic movie. I mean, it has you kind of like on the edge of your seat for a while, and there's no boring parts. Like, it's just I can't even snap my fingers, but you get the point. It's so good, and it's so like meeting yourself and like identifying, identity, but like identifying the different parts of your own personality, not just somebody with a multiple personality disorder, because I don't think that's really how it works anyway. But the whole horrifying idea that like one of them is causing this man to murder people, right? And that iconic phrase, I saw a man, he wasn't there again today. Like, it's pretty cool. And the twist at the end, like, I thought that was really good. It is sad that they thought that they figured things out and they didn't, but that's totally fine. Screwdriver through the back of a seat, pretty iconic death in my opinion. And the rain, it's just like, everything is so spooky, and everybody's at the same birthday, and you're not entirely sure what's happening, because as far as you know, for the movie, they're just investigating this murder, right? They're not really specifically talking about how these are all different versions of his personality until a little bit through the movie. That's when you start to realize it, and that, everybody's like kind of going for John Cusack to win, right? And I think it's pretty cool that Amanda's character is the one who wins. That we think wins, but I really thought it was a good movie. I really thought the personalities of all the different characters were really incredible. And I believe, who is it? There's a guy in it that's making a big comeback again. And he's been in a lot of stuff recently. And I'm just a big fan of him and stuff, because he does a great job. Because he's got a good Scream Queen, not Justin Long's Scream Queen persona, but I find he's got a good Scream King, Scream Queen energy, 1000%. And these, actually stole these from my brother. Sorry. He lent them to me like 15 years ago. And I have to say, please don't come after me. They're okay. I like Bruce Campbell. Don't get me wrong. You know? And they're good movies. And I will watch them. But it's just like irritating. They're irritating. I find them so annoying to watch. I really like Army of Darkness. But The Evil Dead 1 and 2, they're okay. A lot of people say that Evil Dead 2 is like the same movie again, but there's a decent amount of differences, and I feel like they're separate movies for me, in my opinion. It's just that Ash is still the same dude dealing with the same bullshit is all, but there's a new introduced character, there's a new introduced storyline, there's different motives, and there's a different ending. So, like, I don't know. I find them separate movies. Even if it's the same bullshit, you know, whatever. Who cares? And the whole point of the second one was to recognize how silly the first one was, because apparently it wasn't supposed to be silly. So I find that stuff interesting, but, like, they're not movies I'm interested in rewatching. Like, I don't know. For me, the rewatch value is low, but I can understand why people are diehard fans of them. So, I get it. But that, like, screechy, irritating, like, type, the Deadites, ugh, just, like, fuck off. It's like having a bunch of, like, hyper ADHD kids screaming at you constantly, but, you know, they're also trying to murder you. Like, you ever watch that movie Adopted? It's like that kid coming at you all the time. Holy shit. Okay, this one is an all-time favorite of mine. Definitely on my top 5, and always has been ever since I first watched it. And that is Event Horizon. Oh my god, Sam Neill does such a great job. Lawrence Fishburne does such a great job. Really love this movie. I think it's probably... It's one of those movies I can watch anytime, and like all the time. I just love it. I love the concept of it. I like the whole, they discover something in space or through research and science, like, you know, it's like, honestly, it kind of reminds me of, like, I think Albert Einstein talks about how when he invented or found a formula that created the atomic bomb, he was like, holy shit, I can't believe I've done such a horrible thing, that I contributed to this, like, creation of something so fucking horrendous and, like, devastating. Meanwhile, Sam Neill's like, hell yeah, I created something that'll bring us all to the best place ever, where we gouge our own eyeballs out. I really like the crazy scientist aspect and, like, how fucked up it gets by the end of it. Like, it's just crazy. And then there's still, like, kind of a happy ending, you know? But apparently they're bringing out a new one soon, and I'm very excited to see what they do. I'm wondering if they are gonna bring or release the, there's, like, I can't remember how many minutes of footage there is, but there's, like, a part in the movie where they're showing, like, what it's like in the Event Horizon and why they all went crazy and, like, died. But they took it out of the film because it was too fucked up. And it was going to make people crazy. But now, we're so fucked up now just from knowing anything about the world that that's an escape for us. Hey! This one, again, people tell me isn't a horror movie. But I don't really care. Because I think it's a horror movie. I really liked it. It's like The Hitcher, you know, dude's murdering people in his vehicle. And he enjoys it, and eventually some people outsmart him, and I really like that. It is death proof. I recently saw some decorations that somebody had put out that were, like, gnarly as hell, really awesome, and they had a severed leg, and I was like, oh my god. The scene where the chick's leg comes off and, like, flops around on the road is, like, one of my favorite scenes I've ever seen in a movie. I love it so much. It looks like a real leg. Maybe it is a real leg. I don't know. Maybe they went to the morgue and got a real severed leg and fucking threw that and filmed it. The magic of movies. Let's get some cadavers and see what we can do with them, right? That was such a good scene, and I do have to, you know, maybe I need to face myself a little bit here and accept the fact that I have a thing for nice feet, because the foot scenes are so good, but I I worry that, like, maybe Kurt Russell shouldn't have seemed like he was enjoying himself so much in that movie. I love Kurt Russell, but that movie it gave me the creeps for him 1,000%. Like, he's very creepy in it. But I watched the lap dance segment, and it's not that creepy, but, you know, he's definitely enjoying himself a little too much. And he's definitely enjoying himself with the foot scenes a little too much. But the scene where he gets shot and he screams like a little girl, oh my god, that was so good. And I don't know Quentin Tarantino, like, on purpose does a lot of female empowerment stuff, but I don't know, I found it fairly empowering. Even if slightly unrealistic in some ways. The only part of it that I found a little, like, that took away from the empowerment was when they left their friend behind to hang out with that creepy guy, and she was in that cheerleader outfit and stuff, and she was, like, kind of shy and she didn't know what the fuck to do with that guy. You know what I mean? Lots of female jealousy in the first segment. Not so much, or not jealousy, but resentment. Like, the group of friends, you could tell that one of them had resentment towards another and whatever, which is actually very real in a female friend group. There's always one or two, they're insecure, they project it onto each other, whatever. I really liked how he was able to portray that. And then the fearlessness as well, I really like that too. So, I don't know, Death Proof, I could watch it every day. I love this movie. It's one of the movies that I probably watched more than any other movie because it's just so much fun. I really like it. I get that a lot of people, maybe I shouldn't say a lot, but the opinions that I have heard were fairly strong, that it's like watching two of the same movie back to back. Like Evil Dead 1 and Evil Dead 2, I guess. But I don't really find that. I find that the first half is like a nice preface to the second half. Because the first half is like, oh, this is what he's up to and what his mission is to accomplish. And this is what he does all the time because he's obviously a seasoned murderer. And stuntman. Stuntman Mike. And the second half is almost like he's getting his, you know, like the revenge or whatever the hell you want to call it. I find that it's a pretty solid movie in my opinion. But again, like, not everybody's gonna like the same movies for the same reasons, and I like these movies for these reasons, and some of them I think are overrated. So there you go. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you're as exhausted as I am, but I think I'm toast at this point. Yes, I talk a lot. Yes, I talk fast. But I got it all out. And if you have a favorite out of any of these, I don't know, put something in the comments or whatever. Again, if you want to see what Robin's up to, I believe he is Bear Iron Eye on YouTube. And if you want to check out my stuff, it is HFX Horror Events. So I host events in HRM, Nova Scotia all year. Or I co-host, whatever, collaborate. I sell t-shirts and whatever. And it's all in the spirit of making a horror convention happen here. I am doing pretty much all of it alone, but my collaborators are helping kind of give me the stepstones to make it bigger and brighter, and so far it's been like a real hit. So if you want to see what's going on for that, HFX Horror, I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I do not have a website or anything yet, but feel free to reach out to me on those platforms, and I will be happy to hear from you. I'm also an illustrator, so if you did see my In Heat design, that was done by me, and my illustration page is Twisted Bunny Fine Arts and Illustration. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and I have a website if you want to check it out. It's pretty boring, but please give us some support and like our video or whatever. Anyway, thanks for being horrible with me. Sorry Robin couldn't join us. Peace. Have a horrible day.